You know what's strange? If I asked people why they feel financially stuck, most would blame inflation, low salaries, the economy, bad luck. But what if the real reason isn't outside of you? What if the thing quietly draining your money, destroying your focus, and stealing your peace is sitting inside your pocket, right now, your phone? More specifically, FOMO, the fear of missing out. And no, I'm not just talking about feeling jealous when someone posts vacation photos in Bali. I'm talking about the kind of FOMO that slowly rewires your decisions, the kind that convinces normal people to spend money they don't have on lives they don't even want. And the scary part? Most people never notice it happening because FOMO doesn't arrive looking dangerous. It arrives looking exciting. It sounds like everyone's buying it, everyone's investing, everyone's upgrading, everyone's moving ahead. And if you stay still for even 1 second, you feel like your life is falling behind. But here's the part nobody tells you. Around minute 5 of this video, I'm going to show you how FOMO secretly traps people into staying in jobs they hate for the next 10 years of their lives. Not because they're lazy, not because they're untalented, but because of the invisible bills created by emotional decisions. Before we get there, though, you first need to see how FOMO burns through your money. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. A lot of modern spending isn't driven by need anymore. It's driven by social survival. People don't buy things because they truly want them. They buy things because they're terrified of feeling left behind. And social media made this infinitely worse, because now you're not comparing yourself to your neighbors anymore. You're comparing yourself to millions of carefully edited lives every single day. And after enough exposure, your brain slowly stops asking, "Do I actually want this?" Instead, it starts asking, "Am I falling behind if I don't get this?" That single shift destroys people. Here's a simple example. Maybe you don't actually crave a $7 Starbucks coffee every morning. Maybe what you really crave is the feeling of belonging, the feeling that you fit into the office culture, the feeling that you're keeping up with everyone else. And that's how FOMO works. It transforms wants into psychological necessities. Suddenly, the newest iPhone doesn't feel optional anymore, even though your current phone works perfectly fine. You start convincing yourself, "I need better camera quality, I need more storage, I need the upgrade," but deep down, you're afraid of feeling outdated in conversations, afraid of feeling behind, afraid of becoming invisible. And companies understand this perfectly. That's why modern marketing rarely sells functionality anymore. It sells identity, status, relevance, belonging. You're not buying a sneaker, you're buying social approval. You're not buying a luxury watch, you're buying the feeling that your life matters. And honestly, I think many people don't realize how exhausting this becomes, because once your lifestyle upgrades, your financial pressure upgrades too. Now your monthly expenses rise, your standards rise, your stress rises, and the worst part, the happiness barely lasts. A new purchase gives maybe 3 days of excitement, then your brain adapts, and suddenly, now let's talk about the most destructive form of FOMO, investment FOMO. This one ruins people unbelievably fast, because greed mixed with fear creates terrible decisions. You see screenshots online, people doubling accounts, turning $5,000 into $50,000, crypto profits, options trading wins, luxury lifestyles supposedly built overnight, and your brain starts panicking. What if this is my only chance? What if everyone gets rich except me? What if I miss the train? So people rush in emotionally. No research, no risk management, no patience, no understanding of what they're even buying. Just pure emotional urgency. And this is exactly why so many people buy at the worst possible moment, at the top, when excitement is highest, because FOMO convinces people that hesitation equals failure. I've seen people use savings meant for emergencies, people borrowing money, using leverage, using margin, risking years of stability because social media made wealth look immediate. Then the market corrects, and overnight, everything disappears. Not just, let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly in your head. Over the past 6 months, how much money have you spent on things you only bought because everyone else seemed to be doing it? Maybe gadgets, clothes, subscriptions, restaurants, investments, courses, trading losses, impulse purchases. Now imagine if that money had quietly stayed invested or saved. How many months of freedom could it have bought you? 1 month? 3 months? A year? Most people think FOMO costs them money, but the truth is, FOMO costs people freedom. And that's where the real damage begins. Because once financial pressure enters your life, here's something I learned the hard way. Financial stress is never just financial. Eventually, it becomes emotional, mental, existential, and this is where FOMO becomes truly dangerous. Because once your money starts disappearing, remember what I said at the beginning of this video about how FOMO quietly traps people for years? Here's how it happens. Every emotional purchase creates invisible obligations: the luxury car payment, the credit card debt, the expensive apartment, the investment losses, the lifestyle maintenance. At first, they look harmless, but eventually, they become chains. And suddenly, you can't afford to quit your job anymore. Not because you lack talent, but because your monthly bills are too heavy. You can't take risks, can't rest, can't explore different paths, can't start the business, can't breathe. Because survival now depends on continuing a life you secretly hate. And this is one of the saddest modern traps. People fill their homes with status symbols while internally feeling imprisoned. A beautiful apartment can still feel like a cage, especially when every object inside it was purchased to impress people who barely think about you. Remember what I said at the beginning of this video about how FOMO quietly traps people for years? Here's how it happens. Every emotional purchase creates invisible obligations: the luxury car payment, the credit card debt, the expensive apartment, the investment losses, the lifestyle maintenance. At first, they look harmless, but eventually, they become chains. And suddenly, you can't afford to quit your job anymore, not because you lack talent, but because your monthly bills are too heavy. You can't take risks, can't rest, can't explore different paths, can't start the business, can't breathe, because survival now depends on continuing a life you secretly hate. And this is one of the saddest modern traps. People fill their homes with status symbols while internally feeling imprisoned. A beautiful apartment can still feel like a cage, especially when every object inside it was purchased to impress people who barely think about you. But the deepest pain comes later. After you finally buy the thing, after you finally catch up, you get the car, the watch, the phone, the vacations, the aesthetic lifestyle, and then one quiet night, you realize something terrifying. You still don't feel fulfilled, because external upgrades cannot permanently solve internal emptiness, and this creates what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. You keep running, but emotionally, you stay in the same place. Every new achievement becomes normal almost immediately. Then your brain searches for the next upgrade again, and the next, and the next. It never ends. That's why some people look successful online, but privately feel exhausted. because they're performing a life instead of actually living one. And honestly, I think one of the biggest hidden tragedies of social media is identity loss. People slowly stop building lives based on what genuinely matters to them. Instead, they build lives optimized for validation, a copy of a copy of a copy, influenced by hundreds of strangers. And after years of this, many people don't even know what they truly want anymore, only what they were trained to desire. Now here's the good news. You are not completely at fault for this. Seriously, modern platforms are engineered by thousands of brilliant people whose full-time job is capturing your attention, keeping you emotionally activated, keeping you comparing, because comparison creates engagement, and engagement creates profit. Social media algorithms are not neutral. They intentionally amplify lifestyles that trigger emotional reactions: luxury, success, beauty, status, speed. Because emotionally unstable people consume more. That's why your peace constantly feels under attack online. But once you understand the system, you can finally stop blaming yourself and start protecting yourself. This is where JOMO comes in, the joy of missing out. And honestly, learning JOMO changed my life more than any productivity hack. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel constantly inadequate, even if they're motivational, even if they're famous, even if everyone else follows them. If someone's content repeatedly makes you feel poorer, uglier, slower, less successful, that content is costing you mentally. Protect your mind like you protect your... This one is powerful. Create a mandatory 72-hour delay before buying anything unplanned. No impulse purchases, no emotional spending, no midnight shopping because you suddenly felt behind after scrolling TikTok. You'll be shocked how many urgent desires disappear after 3 days. And when it comes to investing, never enter a trade because of excitement online. Never. A tweet is not a strategy. A viral post is not risk management. Patience makes money. Emotion destroys it. This may sound simple, but it matters deeply. Start finding happiness in things that cannot be posted. A full night of sleep, cooking at home peacefully, walking without checking notifications, a savings account quietly growing, no audience, no likes, no validation, just peace. And honestly, that kind of peace becomes addictive once you experience it, because real wealth feels calm, not loud. So maybe the goal in life isn't to own everything the world keeps advertising to you. Maybe real freedom is something much quieter. The ability to look at something expensive, something trendy, something everyone else desperately wants, and calmly say, I don't need it. Because the greatest form of wealth is not unlimited consumption, it's emotional independence. It's no longer being controlled by comparison, no longer financing illusions, no longer sacrificing your future just to temporarily feel included. And maybe that's the real reason so many people feel exhausted today, not because they're failing, but because they have been running in a race they never consciously chose. So stop funding lifestyles that imprison you. Stop buying things designed to make strangers impressed for 3 seconds, and start buying your life back, one decision at a time. If this video made you rethink the way modern culture manipulates attention, spending, and self-worth, subscribe for more videos about money psychology, consumer culture, emotional spending, dopamine addiction, and the hidden systems quietly shaping modern life. And now I'm genuinely curious. What's the most expensive FOMO decision you've ever made? Drop it in the comments. Maybe your story becomes the lesson someone else desperately needed to hear.